Hey, it's me a week into the future. I finally wrapped this video up after 7 days from my initial recording, and I just want to say, I hope you enjoy it. I've put in at least 40 hours into creating this, and I'm losing my mind. I'm back from my 6th showing of No Way Home, and I can't wait to put this video out. It's been postponed for so long, so without further ado, let's just get into it. It's December 30th as I write this to conclude the year. As of today, I have seen No Way Home 5 times, 6 as I record this, and rewatched the other 7 movies 3 times in total. I have seen Spider-Man movies 26 times in the past 21 days. Just bear with me, okay? I wanted to express my love for these iterations we've seen over the years and give my exact thoughts. We must of course start with Amazing Spider-Man! Despite the amazing name, I'm not talking about Andrew, but Toby. Man, before this past month, I had not seen this original trilogy in over a decade. It was nice to pretty much discover them as new. And let me say this non-controversial opinion up front. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man has to be my favorite, wait for it, favorite movies to sit back, load up, and watch. I'm sure nostalgia has something to do with it, and I'm a huge fan of narration. Peter Parker settles us into this tale that's about to visually unfold before our eyes.
This, like any story worth telling, is all about a girl. That girl. The girl next door.
Now, Spider-Man 1 was a blast to watch. I was super familiar with the memes, so when they came up, I absolutely lost it.
I'm something of a scientist myself.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
I don't know why I missed the part where that's my problem. Makes me so... What about that lunchroom scene?
Wow.
Before I continue on with this clip, I love how awkward this Peter is. Like, just say something.
You just get contacts?
We don't get this level of awkwardness anywhere else, so it shines for me. And before internet goblins reign in, I know Peter isn't this badly awkward. Get pooped on. We all know how great Willem Dafoe is, but one of my favorite moments with him has to be the rooftop scene where he does this.
Right. Here's the real truth.
How comical is that? Then he proceeds to slump down next to Spidey. Just beautiful. Spider-Man 2 welcomes us with more narration.
Oh boy, if she only knew how I felt about her. But she can never know.
I'm telling you, huge guilty pleasure. Funny enough though, in The Great Gatsby, Maguire also gives us some narration. More memes.
Pizza time.
Rent? Rent?
My back.
And of course, the train scene. Elevator scene!
It rides up in the crotch a little bit too.
Spider-Man 2 is regarded as one of the greatest superhero movies, and while I'm still trying to view it through that lens, I respect the praise. Peter goes through his existential crisis while he and MJ are still on and off from the first movie, while he tries to balance the true meaning of responsibility. This struggle humanizes him so dearly, and I guess that's what makes it so good? On top of that, the CGI is a vast improvement over the first movie, and the birth of a new personal favorite line occurs.
Trying to do better.
Trying to do better. What I'm saying is, if you like the first one, you're gonna like this one. Now what's left in the Maguire-verse is Spider-Man 3. And I don't hate this movie. The same way Spider-Man 2 is so highly praised and I don't fully resonate with that is the same way how I feel on the dislike towards this movie. I'm not sorry, but it takes a lot for me to be displeased with something. I've seen comments of people saying, oh my god, wow, this movie was on last night on the television and I could not get to the end. Okay, drama queen, we get it. Venom wasn't the original plan, and while the homie's relevance doesn't even kick in till late, I will openly say that this is extremely watchable. Look, here are some memes.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Look at little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry?
Gotta love that music cue.
Careful there. I will.
And I don't find this cringe at all. This is some funny shit that parallels Spider-Man 2 in 2 ways. The walk and the reaction from women. How's that for analysis? And how about when he plays the piano?
Peter?
Toby was on fire. Above all, Spider-Man 3 gives an impactful ending that leaves me emotional every time I hear MJ sing "I'm Through with Love."
Said adieu to love, don't ever call again.
Though the films end here and there were plans for more, I deeply accept this final scene. Raimi's films are my preferred set to go to, which showcase my favorite Peter. Do I sound congested? I feel like I haven't talked much since my sickness. I'll be up front. I saw The Amazing Duology for the first time this past month. Saw the second one years ago, but vaguely remember it. If you don't think Andrew is great as Spider-Man, then you're a bozo. But wait a minute, everyone is in love with him now. I had all these screenshots of comments just outright praising him nonstop, but I mindlessly deleted them. Oops. But I did find this meme that perfectly shows what I'm saying. You probably enjoyed seeing him in No Way Home, so that's enough proof. Here's my beef with that though. As I watched The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, I was instantly enamored. I was well aware of how much the character meant to him. Seeing the first scene where he's in high school, I couldn't help but just smile. Now yes, these movies get hated on. I can see why, especially in the second one where some of it just seems to drag. My initial issue with this one is Harry Osborn, but on my third watch, I kind of didn't mind him.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. That's just not the answer we were looking for.
That guy is funny, and the whole parents plotline might seem like too much if I want to get nitpicky, but aside from criticism, I can watch Mark Webb's movies because Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone hold them up. He is my favorite Spider-Man. Mostly what does it for me is how much he talks while suited up.
You know, in the future, if you're gonna steal cars, don't dress like a car thief, man.
Let me go.
Is that a knife? Is that a real knife?
Yes, it's a real knife.
My weakness, it's small knives.
Just let me go.
Anything but knives! A god named Sparkles?
Oh man, so fun to watch. His suits look great and the visuals in these movies, especially the sequel, really make up for the pitfalls. I also really like the Uncle Ben responsibility take here.
Do good things for other people. You had a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here. Not choice, responsibility.
Man, that hand flick really sells it. This whole scene feels just very real and tense. So much raw emotion that's made me say, damn. The Amazing Spider-Man has blessed us with a basketball scene with Flash, a chuckle moment for myself that reflects Raimi's Spider-Man, in which Peter uses the same line that the opposing person had used on him.
You have to spend $10 to take a penny. Store policy.
Get little help? Not my policy.
I need that money.
I missed the part where that's my problem. Get away with my money.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
And the funniest awkward hallway exchange.
I don't know, we could, or we could do something else, or we could, if you don't, I mean, like, we could,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, either one.
Really?
Go back and watch these, please. One more honorable mention for TASM 1. When Spidey gets shot, and although he is struggling to make his way to Oscorp, he persists and the city of New York helps him crane his way over. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Narrative exposition. That's half this movie. We get deep in the romance, discover a new friendship, and figure out what the hell happens to the parents. I have to say, the relationship between Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker receives a spotlight in my book. She's so accepting that he's Spider-Man, honestly pretty badass with her intelligence. I love how she helps him ground his suit.
Your suit will ground you.
All right, do it. Okay, good. Try. Hurry. Okay, works, good.
And is so persistent to help him in battle. Although, double-edged sword. Man, that hurts. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 showcases some great Spidey scenes to the magnificent intro, to the negotiations with Electro in Times Square.
Oh, I know it, don't tell me.
It's Max.
It's a Max?
Yes.
See that, I can see you don't want to be here, I can see you're scared, I can see you don't know what's happening to you, I can see that you don't want to hurt anybody.
Real quick, while I'm editing, some of these Amazing Spider-Man clips are in 4K 60 frames and they look amazing. I recommend you check one out if you can. And you know what? Who doesn't like Electro's theme? And when he plays around with it like this?
I hate this song!
Circling back to the praise Andrew is getting now, it personally felt like he was ripped from those movies and put into No Way Home. Don't get me wrong, he had an amazing presence and is a highlight of that film. But he's the same character, just 7 years later. Why do people all of a sudden love him? Tommy Holland. I just finished watching Far From Home for maybe the 6th time, and I've never appreciated it as much as I do now. But I'm jumping the gun. Before No Way Home, I never really formed a concrete opinion on the latest portrayal of Spider-Man. He was always okay to me. We mustn't forget his reveal in Civil War. That was pretty damn great. But I couldn't help but feel neutral after that. People either loved him, or you had the Iron Boy Jr. haters. Which is funny because a magazine calls him Iron Man Jr. in No Way Home. I didn't catch Homecoming in theaters, unfortunately, and saw it rather late from what I remember, and I think that contributes to me having a neutral opinion. That movie is fun, I'll say it. The other Spider-Men were older than him, in real life and in story, so things don't take the darker turns that you see in their franchises. We have to understand that this dude is 15, so if he seems a little annoying with his decisions, then there you go, honestly. Plus, it's the MCU and they do things a little different here. All I want to know is, who the hell is Ned? I looked him up and he's just a guy that works at the Bugle. He shouldn't be relevant yet.
It reminds me when Betty and I first fell in love. I had just finished my film Cobbler.
Boy got some dirt in his eye.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Moving on though. Homecoming has amazing, if you can call it this, foreshadowing about Peter's future school endeavors. I love this little delinquent. He knows that this superhero life is the main shit. During a conversation with Tony, who says, I have some pull at MIT, Peter says, I don't need to go to cop before getting cut off. Then Ned eventually asks him, you want to be a high school dropout? In which he replies, I'm so beyond high school right now.
How's school? You know, it's boring, got better things to do.
I mean, I'm totally with him. He even rushes out of school in the beginning to get some food and then put on the suit. One last reference I want to highlight is Branzino, which has a whole thing in Amazing Spider-Man 1.
About dinner, but I know when Bronzino's fresh, and that was not fresh, okay?
You're having trouble there, aren't you? The head goes on the other. Simon, help Gwen's friend with his fish. George.
One more editing note. I wanted to shove this into the video, but I had nowhere else to put it, so I'm just gonna squeeze it in right here. It's his Batman impression.
Flash, I need your car on your phone.
So what do we get of Homecoming that will always shine? The scene where Peter panics because he's trapped under rubble and has to use his own strength to free himself. What a strong 15-year-old. The maturity of rejecting the invitation to join the Avengers is also pretty nice.
I'm good.
Not to promote No Way Home hard, and I have already, but man, does that movie really zoom out and tie in this character's full story. Far From Home shows Peter wanting to take a break from this saving the world life, which, you know what, he just can't do. He has to learn that the hard way. I really enjoy the second half of this movie more, after Mysterio receives Edith. We finally get to see Spidey Sense in action, and beautifully too at that. When he closes his eyes and destroys those drones on the bridge. And when he stops the gunshot right after.
You do deserve that.
I had to replay that multiple times. Oh my goodness. Again, I always had a neutral position on this character because his movies weren't so solo focused. To me, they seemed to focus on Peter's surroundings. Homecoming had the moving day, Happy and Tony, while Far From Home was Nick Fury dragging him to fight the elementals. Of course, I view them in different light now. I see that these two prior films taught him something and helped him grow as a person. I love his third one so much though. No Way Home is so goddamn good. I've seen reviews of people placing Tom's other two movies ahead of this one, which is absolutely insane. I don't see how Homecoming is more enjoyable than this. And not even because the other two Spider-Men show up. It's what Tom's Peter has to go through and the end result he's left with that makes it so impactful. Easily top 2 MCU movie for emotion and likability, in my opinion. Spidey senses off the scale here, especially with the Green Goblin. You know exactly what scene I'm talking about. Everyone's in Happy's condo while Peter walks to the living room area and glances at all the villains before webbing Osborn. That was almost like a horror scene. No Way Home brings the theme of responsibility to Spider-Man on a scale never seen before. Not only does he have his Uncle Ben moment by losing May, but he ultimately ends up being completely alone. We last saw Tobey had Aunt May and MJ, while Andrew had Aunt May. Besides Peter growing up, becoming his own person, and mastering his abilities, he is finally the traditional Spider-Man. I'm so torn between this ending. All the villains shined in their own way. Sandman served as the grounded, non-maniacal one that didn't want to harm anyone. I love pretty much all of Lizard's lines. The guy makes me chuckle. Doc Ock is a great bridge between heroes and villains and gives me the scene with the iconic callback of
Trying to do better.
Electro is his own villain with humor, doubts, and in the end, humanity. And finally, Green Goblin is just juicy. I don't think anyone can complain about him. Great psycho and a great catalyst to maturing Tom's Peter. I want to touch upon Andrew and Tobey appearing in this movie next. Great theater experience, so much energy. Andrew is getting so much praise, but as I said before, that's his character. Tobey is way more reserved. Did you see that lunch scene?
You just get contacts?
They played their exact characters and I loved it oh so much. Tobey was like the big brother spider dad with wisdom, while Andrew really brought the unity between the three. I freaking love when Andrew says he loves them, when Tom hugs them before they leave, and of course, when they all swing and cheer at the same time before landing together. I already pre-ordered this thing on digital and I'm waiting on that release date. I said in my initial thoughts video that I didn't leave the theater in a let me text my friends in caps sort of mood. This guy has no one! It's so messed up! But yes, he made the right decision to save the world and repair the same mistake he made earlier. He is now the Spider-Man we're used to seeing. No huge friendly supporting cast and no Stark tech to save him. This complete loneliness but grounded Spidey approach has me amped for the future. If Holland will return to the friendly neighborhood spider role, I'll welcome it with open arms. If not, and this was his definitive outing, I accept that too with open arms. Tobey is my favorite Peter, Andrew's my favorite Spider, and Tom has my favorite overarching story. I'll leave you with this. What is the best way to end a Spider-Man movie? Please give me enough energy to do this outro. My coughs are attacking so strongly. I know this is like my 5th type of video style, but as I said before, I do not want to box myself in. And all these genres are really fun and I want to try them all. This video has been my longest scripted word with about 2,700 and my previous record was 1,500 I think. So I would really appreciate it if you guys left a like and a comment because these metrics really do help the video's performance. Like, let's have a discussion if you're as into this as I am, please. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already because I like to make sure that my personality is at the forefront of all the videos that I create. And I hope this comes out well in the end. I had no idea how to make a cohesive outline through all of this and it was stressing me out. I spent hours hunting down these clips and I've made like 20,000 revisions to the script. Thank you for watching. I love you. Till next time. Peter and MJ stop on the Queensboro Bridge, which is where Green Goblin held MJ and the tram hostage, and is seen from a still in The Amazing Spider-Man. In No Way Home, Peter swings MJ up on there for a moment, and the people in the tram actually try to talk to him. In The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when Spidey webbed up Gwen and got her on top of the bridge, he confessed that he'd go to England and that
They got crime there. In England, they got tons of crime, it seems.
While in No Way Home, Peter tells MJ that he can be Spider-Man in Boston because there's crime in Boston. think that's about it. What the
That's a magic number.